see your application?
Yes, if you go to ourfutureisclear.org.
Okay.
Not like this is a direct mail piece, so that's that's like a postcard that's going out to
Okay,
homes.
okay, yeah, I can
Yeah,
see
homes
it
are
there.
just in, but there is I think the video's on there. I can send some links to the video as well.
When Marty and Chuck and Neil were started this committee, the first thing they were talking about was doing a dye test to show what was from a field to the kind of what was
That's
the
like a point source pollution from a wastewater treatment plant polluting the Kiowa Springs.
Yeah, and I know wastewater is also part of the BMAPs, and I know that there's some pressure and a lot of, you know way more about that than than probably I do. So I know they're working, I mean, and they have mapped their, you can look them up, every spring has its own BMAP that, Basin Management Action Plan, that identifies the sources of pollution. Since we were focusing on what homeowners can do, what individual residents do, we focused on those springs that were being, which this includes Wekiva, which are being highly impacted by both fertilizer on people's lawns and on septic wastewater.
They had talked about changing, going from septic to sewer, right? Wasn't that one of the funding things they were talking about, giving people, making these municipalities able to help, Marty said.
To hook up to
There's
sewers.
been a push to get people off of septic and onto municipal sewer.
Obviously,
That also is extremely expensive. However, that's something that can be funded either from municipality or from the county or the state.
there's a tiny
But there's a
little,
big question about where those funds can come from.
right.
Some have advocated, including Clay Henderson, that the Florida Forever money be used for that. And that's a big controversy, but it was really unusual to have Clay tell me that's where they wanted to get money from the Gemini Springs area, which is severely impacted.
So I know in Silver Springs is sort of a case study of a success. And one of the reasons there is success, it was, I have to say marketing had a little part of it, but they took a number of years and they set up a couple of things. One is they had sewer connections. We haven't been able to get a fix on how many, but there are communities, I think Stewart's one, but there are communities around the state where there are connections available. But you know, when the developer came in, they decided septic was cheaper. So those connections are there, but not being used. And so, so Ocala was very smart in setting a policy stage. And one of their policies was, if you have availability of a septic hookup and you're not using it, you get charged something like $20 a month. And from a behavioral standpoint, that's what people call loss aversion, like you're losing $20 every month. And then there's lots of other benefits from being central sewer. You don't have to worry about it. We do have research that shows that people kind of don't know what's going on under the ground. I once had a septic system when I was renting. I had no idea. You know, but they laid that groundwork, and then they did a really concerted marketing campaign, and they went door to door. And so they did hundreds of sewer hookups. But it was very local, very concentrated, and they had the policy platforms in place to do
Did
it.
the money come out about the same or more?
It was a little bit more, but then you don't have to worry about that time when your septic system breaks and you've got $10,000 to replace it, right? So it's a little more every month, but you don't have to worry about that big catastrophe, which is sort of what everybody worries about if you have a septic system.
And the advanced ones have some monitoring required.
They
So that
do.
costs just about as much as to go on to sewer in some areas.
That could be true.
Wow.
Yeah, and back to the sewer hookups, there is, we didn't have as much ability to do a lot, but there's a small local leaders toolkit on advocating for expanded sewer connections. But there are always going to be some places in the state that do that we don't. They're too rural, right? The places are too far apart. So there's always going to be some septic. So what we can do to get upgraded septic would be really helpful.
I actually have two questions. The first question is, if you could clarify on the $10,000, I guess is that a match? Or is that an actual 10,000?
It's a cost offset. So
Okay.
that's what's really complicated. So they won't call it a rebate
All right.
because they're worried because it doesn't go to the homeowner. So the way it works is basically, homeowner, say, I need to get a upgraded septic, I want $10,000 off of it. So, so then they work with the contractor, and the contractor has to file a permit, file an application. And that's that big thing I showed you, that there's a step-by-step guide on there. It's on the contractor toolkit. This is a step-by-step guide with all the links that they have to follow. So then they file their application, and then they hopefully very, very quickly get back the approval. And then once they have approval, they still have to prove that they did it. But it's basically a cost that goes to the contractor.
Okay, so the last time I looked, I couldn't find any contractors in Orange County that had the certification.
Yes, so I can tell you
So
that.
are
We
there-
couldn't get it in the homeowner thing because it got a little complicated, but almost every one of those contractors, those manufacturers will certify on site. So what that means is it gets really complicated. You gotta go on the DOH side, you find your contractor. This is one of the reasons why we marketed to contractors so they know. If you're a contractor, you choose which one you want. They call the manufacturer, and the manufacturer will certify them while it's being installed. So there's no delay, but it's a knowledge gap that's actually really important.
Okay. And then just quickly, because it came up in conversation, I just wanted to let this group know that in Orange County, in District 2, Christine Moore is working on trying to get more people connected to sewer. And she found some money somehow where the county's gonna kick in 25% of the cost, and then it's gonna be spread out over time. So she's out marketing that to the homeowners associations really close to Wekiva Springs and starting there. And she's getting really good response with people that would prefer to just go straight to sewer rather than upgrading to septic and still have to deal with it. So.
Right. And I
I
think
don't
she had
know if
like
you've
400,
talked to her.
I haven't yet, she
Okay.
had like 400 people at her last meeting, so there's
Yeah.
definitely interest.
Wow,
Yeah.
almost as good as solar.
Jean?
Question. You know that it's an impact piece?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know all the details of it, but you certainly can get a hold of her or her aide, and I can give you her email addresses if
That
you
can be expensive. Question about septic. I mean, if you have an old system, 15, 20 plus years, how much is it goes from that unknown septic tank to that? $10,000 plus what, typically?
Yeah, I can't, so that's the thing,
I'm trying to sell my wife on this.
right, so it allegedly should cover the cost, it's not gonna cover maintenance costs. It allegedly should cover the cost, but your contractor would know. And it depends on, some systems cost more than others. You can also, you can just upgrade the drain field, you can upgrade the drain field and the tank. If you do both together, you can get up to $10,000.
So it's like
If you're in that special case.
You do have to so first thing you go on is you put your tank, because it's only in
So
certain.
is there an idiot light that says you need maintenance, or how do you know yet? Obviously, you're not gonna open up the hole and like, yeah.
Right. So the manufacturer, because it's different for every manufacturer, FOA, the Florida Onsite Wastewater Association, they do DIY for homeowners. So they help you figure out how you can do it yourself. And then a lot of contractors are going to sell it as an ongoing business.
I just want to piggyback on that. The Florida Onsite Wastewater Association, they offer courses. They actually have like an on-site, hands-on facility where you can see all these advanced septic system units, and you can go there and they'll tell you about what type of benefits they have, the price of installation, the effort of installation and maintenance. And they offer, I don't know if it's like monthly or quarterly classes, but you can contact them and they will set you up to come out and visit, and you can see all the different types of units that they have.
And also, the Wekiva Spring Shed Alliance set up a meeting to go down to the FOWA offices this coming Thursday
Awesome.
at 2 o'clock, and so we're gonna meet at Wekiva Island and then drive down there. It's kind of short notice, but if anybody is interested in going, I'll do a report back, but I would also let you know, give you more details, so just grab me at the end of the meeting for the field trip.
They've been a great partner.
Yeah, Roxanne, she came and
She's
spoke with
amazing,
us.
yeah.
We had her come. It was
Yeah.
very complicated.
Yes.
Is there much competition among installers for
business?
So I don't know. We do hope this is a way for them to that we hope that this will help them feel like they get a competitive edge, right? And we did help them, like on the site, there's a mailer that they can send out saying, I'm certified in this thing, or I can do this thing for you. It's a great question. Septic, I think septic is it's big expense every 20 years or so. So I think the biggest thing I'm worried about is that you're as a homeowner, you call and they say, I'm not certified in that. And you need, because people usually don't call about their septic system unless there's an emergency, right? But you need, and so they're like, well, I'm not certified in it, and then they're just gonna go ahead and the regulations haven't kicked in, so they're just gonna go ahead and get a new septic system that's traditional, right? So really want to spread the word about that certification can happen on site. And I do know that we went to a FAWA conference, and the contractors were very interested in this. And Roxanne is really pushing it, that every one of her, we had a webinar, we got DEP on the phone, the DEP, the Septic Upgrade Incentive Program folks, and the contractors on a webinar together so they could ask a lot of questions. And Roxanne's really pushing it as, you need to know how to do this because it's coming. It's going to be required in 5 years or so.
Any questions?
All right, well, thank you for your patience. I really appreciate it.